In the heart of the ancient Mayan world, deep within jungles of stone and ceiba trees, there was a game where losing could mean death, and sometimes, even winning did too. A game where warriors didn't swing swords or draw blood with blades, but slammed a 9-pound rubber ball using only their hips, elbows, and knees. There were no prizes, no cheers for mercy. Only the hope that the gods were watching and that they were pleased. This is the story of Pok-ta-Pok, the deadly Mayan ball game that makes Squid Game look like child's play. Over 1,000 years before Columbus set sail, the Maya civilization thrived across what's now southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. They built cities of limestone and obsidian, carved temples that touched the clouds, and mapped the heavens with terrifying precision. Their rulers were seen as living gods, their priests, translators of the cosmos. To the Maya, each sunrise wasn't just a new day, it was the result of the gods once again defeating darkness. And every sunset reminded them that light could fall to shadow at any moment. So when they created a sport, it became more than a pastime. It became a cosmic performance, a sacred echo of the battle that kept the world alive. But Pok-ta-Pok didn't start with them. Its roots go back even further, to the Olmecs, the mysterious mother culture of Mesoamerica, around 1600 BC. They were the first to mold the sap of the rubber tree into a bouncing ball, something unseen anywhere else on Earth. What began as a ritual contest slowly spread across the continent, to the Zapotecs, the Aztecs, and finally, the Maya, who turned it into legend. By the classic Maya period, every major city, Tikal, Copan, Chichén Itzá, had its own ball court, some larger than a football field. The courts were shaped like a giant eye, framed by steep stone walls that rose on both sides. Carved into the stone were images of warriors, gods, and decapitated figures, grim reminders of what the game demanded. At the center of each wall, high above the players, stone rings waited, the impossible goal. Spectators crowded the terraces, nobles reclined in shade, and priests stood ready to bless or condemn. But this was no ordinary game. Every bounce of the ball symbolized the eternal struggle between life and death, day and night, order and chaos. To play was to invite divine judgment, to reenact the story of the universe itself. Imagine soccer, except you can't use your hands or feet. Players struck the ball with their hips, knees, and elbows, keeping it in motion with strength, precision, and rhythm. The ball itself, made of solid rubber, could break bones or crush ribs. Carvings show athletes wearing padded belts, knee guards, and headdresses. Yet even with protection, the injuries were brutal. It wasn't uncommon for players to collapse from exhaustion or for games to stretch into twilight, their bodies caked in sweat and dust. Matches could last for hours, sometimes days. And while some games ended in sport, others were soaked in ritual, played to decide wars, seal alliances, or honor the gods of death and rebirth. To truly understand why the game mattered, you need its myth. In the sacred Mayan text, the Popol Vuh, two heroic twins, Hunahpu and Xbalanque, were summoned by the lords of the underworld Xibalba to play a ball game in the realm of death. The gods despised the sound of their play on Earth and sought to destroy them. But the twins outsmarted the underworld, sacrificed themselves, and were reborn, one as the sun, the other as the moon. Their victory over death itself became the cosmic origin of Pok-ta-Pok. Every time the Maya played, they weren't just competing. They were recreating creation. The court became a stage where humans replayed the myth that sustained the universe. Winning or losing wasn't about pride. It was about maintaining balance in the cosmos. But balance required sacrifice. Murals across Mesoamerica show players kneeling before priests, blood spilling down temple stairs. On the walls of Chichén Itzá's Great Ball Court, the largest ever built, One carving shows a decapitated player, snakes bursting from his neck in place of blood. To the Maya, this wasn't horror, it was rebirth. Through death came renewal. Some scholars believe the losing team was sacrificed to the gods. Others argue that the winners faced the blade, chosen for a glorious passage to paradise. Whichever is true, one thing is certain. On that court, someone always paid the price. And yet Pok-ta-Pok was more than ritual. It was also politics and theater. Kings hosted grand tournaments to prove their divine right to rule. Conquered prisoners were forced to play as public humiliation before execution. Every game sent a message that life and death were in the hands of the gods and their earthly representatives. The roar of the crowd wasn't just excitement, it was worship. Picture it now. Drums thundering through the plaza, conch shells blaring, incense swirling through the air. The crowd roars as the ball ricochets off stone. A player leaps, twists his body, and strikes the ball midair with his hip. The sound echoes like thunder. For a moment, time freezes. Even the gods, the Maya believed, were watching. The tension was unbearable. A single mistake could shift the fate of men and kingdoms. Each hit carried meaning. Each bounce, a heartbeat of the world. To the outside world, Pok-ta-Pok might look like a brutal sport, but to the Maya, it was a conversation with eternity. Each game reminded them that existence itself was fragile, that chaos could return at any moment unless humans did their part to keep order alive. Every bruise, every breath, every drop of blood was an offering to the universe itself. Then came the Spanish conquistadors in the 1500s. They entered the jungles, saw the vast courts, the carvings, the rituals, and recoiled. To them, this was pagan blasphemy. They banned the game, burned the temples, destroyed codices, and silenced centuries of tradition. Yet, no empire can erase memory. In remote corners of Mexico and Central America, the heartbeat of Pok-ta-Pok survived. Villagers passed down fragments of rules, songs, and legends. And today, in regions like Sinaloa and Oaxaca, a modern version called Ulama is still played. The rules are gentler, the stakes human, but when that ball hits the earth, the sound carries the weight of 1,000 years. The rhythm, the movement, even the spirit, it's the same ancient heartbeat, echoing through time, whispering that some traditions refuse to die. Because Pok-ta-Pok was never just about winning. It was about balance, belief, and belonging. It reminded the Maya that the universe was alive and demanded to be honored through struggle. Long before Netflix imagined Squid Game, the Maya were already living it, risking life not for money or survival, but for cosmic order. Each game was a prayer written in sweat and blood, and through it, they believed they kept the universe from collapsing into darkness. The Mayan Ballgame stands as one of humanity's most haunting traditions, a reminder that the line between sport, faith, and death has always been thin. This was the Mayan Squid Game, the deadly sport of the gods. If you love stories that reveal the strange, dark, and unbelievable side of history, hit subscribe and ring the bell, because next time on History Retold, we're uncovering another tale that will make you ask, did that really happen, or is history just stranger than fiction?